friends. So, were you good to yourself today? I hope so. I hope you had a wonderful day. Um, my honey and I went to the beach today, and it was in the 50s. It was a little chilly, so I had my nice warm jacket on, my flannel shirt, and another layer under that, and we took a nice walk on the beach. And that will probably be the last walk for the season because Um, one day this week, at night, it's going to go down to 24 degrees. So I have to run around the house here, turning off my outside faucets because I certainly don't want to have those freeze up and then I'll have a really big problem. So anyway, that was fun. Um, and I'm going to miss that, but next summer we'll do it again. And now I have to come up with a winter plan because winter is not my favorite time of the year. Um, and I always keep saying I have to find something that I enjoy doing in the winter. Skiing is out, even walking outside when it's snowing and blowing isn't for me anymore. I used to do it all the time. It's funny because I have to tell you just this quick story. I'm always saying, I used to do that. I used to do that, whatever it is. And I did. I did a lot of things when I was younger. So I don't have too many regrets because most of the things I wanted to do in my life, I have done. Yes, there are still more things I want to do. But anyway, my my honey Tom, his response to everything is we'll see. We'll see this, we'll see that, and it just, that's what he responds to everything. So anyway, we started calling each other Eusta and we'll see. And when we were married, of course, we had the same last name, so we were Eusta and we'll see Delphing. But that's kind of a funny story. At least I think it's funny. But anyway, we'll still call each other that. So where was I? Uh, anyway, senior moment. I'll be back in a couple seconds. Okay, my brain's back from its 5-second vacation. I don't know where it went, but it's back. So anyway, another thing that happened today and yesterday, my helper, he's actually my oldest grandson's dad. And so he was looking for some extra work, so I hired him to do some chores for me around the house. So one hand washes the other, and that'll work out just great. And he's been working on my front flower bed, and I've said this before. So, but it's getting a little difficult with the weather getting colder, and now on daylight savings time, it starts getting dark at 5:30, and he works. So he can't get here until, like 4:30, but he's done a lot of work in the front and it's starting to look really good. He's doing an excellent job and I'm very, very grateful that he is helping me out. And Saturday, somebody finally called me back for a housekeeping service and I'm hoping she's not too expensive, and having her come in once a month to do one upstairs and one downstairs. I'm hoping that won't be too expensive because it's not something that I can afford to do on my income. I can't have somebody come, once a week and clean my house. And that would be counterproductive anyway because I pretty much have to walk around the house after my dogs with a Swiffer or a broom because they make the dirt faster than I can keep it cleaned up. But anyway, I am making some progress and I want to address that issue a little bit because I know so many of us in the older community and even younger people have mobility issues. Um, and don't be afraid to ask for help. Sometimes your community will have people that will come in. Sometimes they have like high school people. Check with your community center. they might have some sort of help available. So don't tough it alone. If you have family, maybe you could enlist some grandkids, even, or your kids, if you have kids, to maybe just come and help you a little bit. Because I'm sure most people want to make sure their family members are comfortable, and and scale back your activities to your abilities. That's the biggest hint that I could give anybody. It's the biggest thing that I can do for myself. I've known older people that just refuse to change with circumstances as they change, and it doesn't make for a good outcome. So don't be afraid to enlist people. Maybe you have a friend that lives in your apartment complex that you could trade. Maybe you like to bake, or make crafts, and you could sort of trade services, for lack of a better word, or favors. Favors would be a better word. Um, but you need to get a little creative, and don't tough it alone. There's people that want to help. Churches are a very, very good resource for helping people that are in need, or people that live alone and can't do things on their own anymore. So don't be afraid to ask for help. People like to help. Most people, they like to help because it feels good when you can help somebody. So I'll be back when I think of more to talk about. So I'm starting to do a map of the systems that I want to create if I don't have one already. And I just take a legal pad, and so far, the systems that I want, number one I'm working on now is the paper clutter. Um, I took care of the magazine issue because I had way too many magazines. I did keep a few because I do like to read. And I like to read magazines because I find as I'm getting older, my brain just doesn't focus for a real long time. So reading in shorter spurts works better for me. I retain the information better. And sometimes with fibromyalgia, you get a little brain fog. So especially on days like that, then I just read in short spurts, and I enjoy reading a lot. So the magazines and the paper clutter, they are becoming manageable. Next thing I'm going to do is go through some of my other papers, and I'm hoping to have this system set up by the end of the week. So we'll see how that goes. Today I didn't get anything done because I was off fooling around having fun, which, yay me. So anyway, another system that I want to work on is cleaning, of course. And so I'm chiseling away at that and having somebody come in and help me once a month with, because my house is really, it's not a tiny house. It's not a McMansion or anything like that. But when I had a family, it was just right. And now it's just me and the dog. So it really is a little bit too much, too big for me. So, but instead of selling it, I'd rather just downsize some of my possessions and keep it manageable. And so I'm enlisting the help of somebody to keep it clean, because once that gets away from you, which it has done for me the last 3 years, it takes a while to get caught up again. But I'm feeling good about that. That is starting to happen. And so, and make yourself a little map when you're trying to set up a system, and then cut it down to manageable steps, maybe something you can do every day for 15 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever time you have, and work on it a little bit each day. So another system that I sort of have a handle on it pretty well is my budget system. And I've shown this before. I have this budget binder that I do every month. I have my monthly calendar pages in here. I don't know if you can see this, but I have a calendar page for every month. I write down my expenses, what I've spent. So that's my budget. And then at the end of the week, I total up what I paid or what I spent, the money that came in, the money that went out. And then at the end of the month, I sort of print off my bank statements and I go over that to make sure that I have everything on there. And then I file that calendar page to the back, and then I have the new fresh calendar page in the front, and also anything that I have to pay off, I do every month, and I subtract. It keeps me motivated to pay off any bills that I have because I can see the total going down. So that keeps me motivated to keep my to pay off my bills. So as my bills come in, I pay everything online. I almost always buy everything with a debit card because it does go on the statement and it makes it easy for me to track my spending. So that's how I manage that. And then as my bills come in, I pay them online, and that way I'm not late with my bills. And that system seems to be working for me. I keep a little bundle of the bills I've paid for the month. I take my bank statement that I've printed off and I encase it in the bills, and I file 3 months worth of bills in a little caddy that I have. And then as the 4th month comes up, then I will shred the bills that are 3 months back. So that seems to be working really well for me. So I don't have to do a lot of work on my budget system. That seems to be working. So another thing that I'm going to be working on is a cleaning system. And for that, I had one at one time, and for some reason it fell by the wayside. And let me see if I can find that, and I'll be back and show you how that worked. Okay, so some of my biggest things that I like to do to stay organized. I love notebooks. I have notebooks for recipes that I cut out. Now this is my household notebook, and this is where I'm going to be setting up my cleaning system. And the system that I had actually was working very well, and I don't know what happened, why I stopped doing it. But anyway, I came up with, just had this little piece of paper, and it just had, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So on Mondays, I would do the kitchen. I'd do the counters and the floors. And that didn't take very long. I mean, if you clean up as you go along, do your dishes, keep the counters relatively clear. Now, mine always have something on. In fact, I'm looking around going, I need to do a little tidying up here. But, and then just mopping up the floor or vacuuming the floor. So that's all I would do on Monday with my house. Now on Tuesdays, I did the living room, and I would vacuum the couch, and if the covers that I kept on there for the dogs needed to be washed, I would throw those in the laundry. I haven't been keeping the couch covered because it's trashed anyway, and now I'm waiting for the carpet cleaner to come and steam clean my couch so that I can proceed with sort of reupholstering it a little bit. I've already gathered the things that I need to have, but I did post a video earlier about my couch, but I haven't gotten anywhere with that because I need to have it cleaned before I can do anything else with it because I don't want to upholster all that hair and stuff into the couch. So, I mean, I did vacuum it and cleaned it that way, but it really needs to be, steam cleaned. So I would do that and I would do the living room floor, either vacuum it or just run the mop, whatever needed to be done. And that's all I did on Tuesday. On Wednesdays, I did the kitchen again. I would dust because I have curio cabinets and, tchotchkes here and there. So I would dust those on Wednesday. And of course, do the floor again because that's what you do when you have pets. On Thursdays, I would do the living room and I would dust and I would do the floor. So on Tuesday, I did the couch and the covers, and on Thursday, I dusted and did the floor. Both days, I did the floor. So I'm basically doing a floor in every room every day, but not the whole thing. So on Friday, I would do my laundry room and the bathroom floor. And on Saturdays, I watered my plants, I did my laundry, my sheets, and I would do the foyer and the stairs going upstairs. So, and Sunday, I cleaned the laundry room and the bathroom floor. So really, this schedule worked real well for me, at least for keeping the downstairs clean. And I wasn't doing a lot every day. All these things probably took me maybe 20 minutes a day to do. And I really wasn't overwhelmed when I was following this schedule. And so I want to get back to this and see if I can't keep doing this. The problem is life happens. You go spend the day with your family or your significant other, and then of course Monday's gone and you didn't do anything on Monday, so then you have to play catch up on Tuesday or whatever. So I don't have an answer for that. I guess either you skip it and you do it the next week, or you just kind of work it in on a different day, at least half of the task in on a different day. So that's what I have for that. And then I do keep a freezer inventory so that I know what I have in my freezers, and I can then make my meals because I do like to cook from my freezer and pantry, and I always keep enough food stocked in the house that if something happens, the weather turns bad or whatever, you never know. Sometimes you have a power outage, and I try to have enough food so I can get through. And don't forget water. Got to have water too. So I keep that in there, and then I keep some meal ideas as I think of them. I don't do a meal plan because I don't know what I'm going to feel like eating on Tuesday or Wednesday. So I just write down some meal ideas from my list. And then that day I just come up with whatever I feel like eating. So that's kind of how a system that I have for keeping up with my food and what I have in my pantry. So, and then of course, this was my 31 days of living well and spending zero. And that was a really great month. I mean, I really saved a lot of money, and I really need to go back to doing a no spend, at least 2 weeks of no spend. And I used up what I had, not everything. I have a lot of things, but I did use up a lot of things and not buy more, which I tend to do. But I've gotten better with that. So that's sort of my household binder, and then I have the budget binder. And so, but getting the binders, these were from the Dollar Tree, so they were $1. And I have a hole puncher, and then that's how I keep track of things in my house. So anyway, it's a work in progress, and I will be doing some updates, and let me know how you're doing on your organizing, or on we like to share ideas here on the channel. If you have some good hints, leave it down in the comments below so we can all learn from each other, and we can all become more efficient and be more comfortable in our own homes. Um, so anyway, that's a little talk I wanted to have today, and I hope you all are doing well and you're happy and healthy, and I hope God blesses you with the abundance of life. And I just want to say I love you guys, and I wish you abundant blessings, and I'll see you next time.